ultimately, my philosophy is we're supposed to be in a democracy, last I checked.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. Oh, well, we're not.
We're supposed to be,
It's I call it the Truman Show, like that movie with Jim Carrey. It's sort of a faux democracy where I always tell people, how free are we if the media is completely corrupt and controlled by these interests? And they are.
And that's Project Mockingbird, right?
Yeah. And I have a document, not conspiracy theory. I always tell people, I hate that word because it's used to slander anyone someone disagrees with or that they want to debunk. But the truth is, there are conspiracies. You ever heard of the mafia? Hello?
Yeah.
I mean, there are criminal organizations. The biggest criminal organization on planet Earth is keeping this secret, period. And they have the money and the clout, and they're thugs.
Yeah.
You know, when, I won't say who, but when one of the chief people for Senate Intelligence Committee reached out to me about 3 years ago and said, Dr. Greer, will you come up here? And I went into the SCIF. A SCIF is a secure compartmented information facility. Yeah. Because we can't get anything on this subject. This was the top, working with the chairs, Senate Intelligence and Armed Services. His portfolio included overseeing the NSA, CIA, NRO, three-letter agencies. And I said, yeah, I can. I'll come in. I'll give you everything we got. Once he started looking into this, he had 2 Blackhawk choppers, unmarked, over his house that next day. And just hovering, looking down, threatening him with his 4 kids in the house. So he called. I said, John, I told you these are thugs.
Yeah.
These are thugs.
Well, not only have they tried to kill you, but you've also been offered quite a bit of money to stand down too, right?
Yeah, very funny story. There was a character named General Albert Stubblebine III. He had been head of Army Intelligence Special Forces, and he was part of this group as he allegedly was retired. He wasn't. And when I started first moving on this issue, particularly when we started a team to go out and try to track and make contact with these objects, which we successfully did in the spring of 1992, he surfaced and offered me, and this is a legitimate offer, in 92, $2 billion.
With a B.
With a B, if I would be quiet and be part of his team. And he had a board seat for me to be on. This is how it's done. So they either blackmail you, or they create false narratives about you, defame you, or they buy you off, or all three. So I've had all 3 of those ops run on me.
You.
Yeah. And I've just said, go jump in the lake.
Yeah.
He went behind my back to my wife, tried to convince her to convince me. And I said, don't you ever talk to her again. But she's the angel in all this. This month we have our 45th wedding anniversary.
I'm sure she's been through a lot with this.
She's been through hell, yeah.
And she could have took the $1 billion and went $2 billion.
Yeah, but I mean, we care about the future of this country and the world and humanity, right? And the planet. Yeah. And it's going to hell in a handbasket quickly. I mean, this country and the world is on a downward death spiral unless we get this right. And the linchpin to solving the most intractable problems. Because young people think, oh, there's no solution to the environment. There is. There's no solution to poverty. There is. And we have it. But it would disrupt. This is like the ultimately disruptive technology. It would Schmidt can and put into the garbage can $1 trillion worth of a multi-trillion, $1,000 trillion worth of assets. Now, to the people who are alarm bells going off on Wall Street, remember, a transition like that's going to take 15 or 20 years.
Right.
Let's be a simple math here. There are 1.5 billion motor vehicles on the road globally. We create about 100 million cars and trucks a year. If you retooled every factory on planet Earth to this 0-point type energy transmission system, that would take 15 years. Right. And that is if you just instantly, like Bewitched, wiggled your nose and it all got, retooled. Not going to happen.
Yeah.
So even if it came out today and you extrapolate 20 years from now into 2044, we scarcely have time for that.
Yeah.
We just don't. So one of the problems is we're running out of time to fix these huge intractable problems. And long before any problems with the environment will get us, the geopolitical situation is going to get us. Why? Because you have the haves and the have-nots. The extremes of wealth and poverty are getting worse and worse, which then radicalizes these poor countries in the Middle East, Africa, all over the world. And you're not going to fix that with fossil fuel transmission lines.
No.
So this would also solve that globally. If you have any humanitarian care about the children of God, humans, you would want to have something that would be able to advance our civilization. And so, but the people who have come across this technology, independent of studying an extraterrestrial spacecraft, like Nikola Tesla and others, Floyd Sweet, who had he's in our movie, The Lost Century. He had a thing a little bigger than a cigarette pack that,
This is the guy Scrappy?
Yeah, and it was running a 300 horsepower electric motor.
Yeah.
And he was in talks with General Motors about it, and they killed him. He was flat out killed. So, all these solutions have come and gone for 100 years. This is why I call this a lost century of human evolution and progress due to the fascist, totalitarian, power-hungry nuts that are not just U.S., it's a global